So today we're gonna make something a little bit different, and I thought because it's an ingredient that I've just picked up from a vegan supermarket called the Vegan Kind here in the UK. I didn't pick it up actually. I ordered it and they delivered it, which was great. And that's called tempeh. Oh, this way around, tempeh. So you can see this. And yeah, so we're gonna make some tempeh. What it basically is soybeans, fermented soybeans, which are squashed into a block. The whole soybeans are. And I'm gonna make a little bit of a fusion, Asian fusion out of this, because I'm gonna use this as the basis for my general sauce style marinade. I'm also gonna make some rice. I've got some tofu here, which was frozen, and I defrosted it. And what basically happens is it becomes a little bit like spongy. But we're gonna make use of this because we're gonna make some no egg fried rice. So our egg substitute is tofu in this case. With my egg fried rice, I've got some onions, a little bit of ginger left here. I've got some garlic, which we're gonna use. I also want to put a few green things in, although originally that would be peas. I don't want to use peas, and I don't have any peas, quite frankly, so I'm gonna use some broccoli. And the first thing I want to do is, because I'm gonna do obviously everything from scratch, what I used here is my red rice, which I put in a strainer and just had some water running through, because as you can see there's quite a bit of red residue in there. So for grains like this, it's always good to have like a bit of a wash through before you cook them. So this is a cupful of the red rice, which I'm going to put in here. And then I'm going to add, I need another cup. And then I'm going to add double the amount of water that I have in rice, which is 2 cups. And we're going to add this to our hob. Oops, that was the wrong one. To our hob and get this cooking. So while the red rice is cooking, I'm going to make a marinade for my tempeh and gonna put my tempeh into that marinade. Okay, so the first thing, it says 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, which I'm gonna add in my bowl. So 1 tablespoon of, and then it says 6 tablespoons of cornstarch. I do not have any cornstarch, but I've got tapioca flour. It says 6 tablespoons, so I'm not sure if we can quite get 6 tablespoons. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 3 tablespoons of my tapioca flour, which is basically a little bit like corn flour, but it makes things a little bit more stringy, if that makes sense, which I don't mind, not a problem, especially not in this dish. And then I'm gonna use just normal flour for the other 3 spoons. 2, 3. So that's 6 spoons, and then it says 2 cloves of garlic, so we're supposed to mince 2 cloves of garlic. What I also want to do at this point, because now my rice is actually boiling, I'm going to leave the lid off, is I'm going to add the rest of my stock cube, so that my rice gets a little bit of flavor while it cooks already. And then just do a little bit of stir here. So, this is this. Sorry, I just need to keep an eye on my rice, because now, obviously, the water has pretty much evaporated. I want the rice to continue to cook. So I need to keep an eye on it and not having it to stick to the bottom of my pan, because that's always a nightmare to clean. So here we go, and this is our tempeh. So, as you can see, this is the tempeh that we got. It's organic, whole soybeans, fermented, tempeh-tastic, basically. And this is what it looks like. This is our block. So, because it's fermented, also means it's really, really good for gut health. So yeah, this is our lovely tempeh. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slice this into probably cubes. Cubes is probably the easiest way to batter this nicely. Obviously, we're gonna make sure to cover everything, every little piece, an inch of our tempeh here. Lovely. Okay, so it looks a bit bare because obviously the soy sauce is gonna make the tempeh look very brown. But believe me, it smells lovely. It's gonna taste amazing. Our rice looks really, really nice. Our rice looks nice. So turn this off and put the rice aside. So I'm gonna dry this out and just leave it on the side. I'll put all my trash on. So now we're gonna get to the to our tofu because I want to make it an eggy or egg-style tofu, for which I don't need much. I actually need only one thing, and then I'm gonna put a few more bits in. But our major thing is this, which is, I like to call it stinky salt, but it's actually called black salt, although it's pink. Black salt is kala namak, which is, I think, I'm not quite sure where it originates, but it's salt that has been, yeah, that smells like egg, basically. It's been fortified salt that makes it smell like egg, and it makes anything that you make with it also taste of egg. So this is how we eggify our tofu. So I just put a little bit of, yeah, so probably half a teaspoon of the eggy salt, and I can smell it. I think the whole kind of like kitchen already smells of it. Then I'm gonna use some fresh ground pepper as well. Lots of it, just because I really, really like it. And what I also used is going to be some Chinese 5 spice, just because it gives a little bit of a nice Chinese flavor as well for our rice later on. So, and then I've got my wonderful washed fingers. I'm going to put them in soapy water again. And I go in with my fingers. Again, use your hands. Who needs tools? If you can use your hands. And then just squish it up. And here we go. So this is our prepared egg. At this point, I'm gonna make my sauce for the general salt style tempeh. So obviously we have a coating for our general sauce, style tempeh, but then we also want a sauce. So once we've cooked the tempeh or fried the tempeh in the pan, it's gonna take the tempeh out. We're gonna have like another marinade that we're gonna put into the pan, make that saucy, and then add the tempeh back in. That all makes sense. It sounds complicated, but it isn't. So we need 3 tablespoons of soy sauce. Again, always lots of soy sauce in our Chinese or Asian cooking. 3 tablespoons of vinegar. Again, we use rice wine vinegar. 1, 2, and 3. Then it says 3 tablespoons of stock, and remember in the beginning of this video I started putting a little bit of stock away in a glass, and this is what the stock is for. So we need 1, 2, 3 of the stock. Then it says 3 tablespoons of sugar. However, I'm not going to use sugar, golden syrup. So I don't use as much, so I'm probably just going to put like 1.5 tablespoons in here. But it works just as well. I don't have any cornstarch or flour, so I'm going to substitute again with tapioca. So I'm going to use my tapioca flour, and I'm going to use 1 spoon. So here we go. And the cornstarch is actually there to, once we start putting it in a pan and making it into like a sauce, this is what holds it together and makes it into a sauce basically. Okay, so the last bit is, and this is an optional thing because I know a lot of people might not like it as spicy, but the last thing is chili flakes. So you just gonna put a little bit of chili flakes in it as well. Here we go. I do like it, and I think it adds definitely to the dish. But yeah, you can omit that if you are not sure. So here we go. Our second marinade, which we're gonna transform into a sauce. Very, very quickly, quickly, soon. Good. So I just added a little bit of sunflower oil to my pan here, and wait till this heats up so we can start frying our wonderful cubes. In the meantime, I want a couple of other things. So I've got some shallots here and some ginger, which I'm gonna start chopping and peeling because I want that as the base for my rice. I want to make it a nice no egg, but also in addition to no egg, with lots of vegetable rice. So I'm putting my tempeh cubes in, and I try to keep them apart as well as possible because I want them to become evenly fried. Okay, got that all in. Got that in there. That looks actually really, really meaty now. So again, it's actually quite an interesting thing for someone who might not be vegan and try to like replicate certain meat. So as you can see, this looks quite a bit meaty. And there's such a thing as tempeh ribs as well. So if you ever wanna try those, this is quite an interesting eat as well. I'm taking those out because they are literally, browned off. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my sauce that I prepared, my general sauce, and put that into the hot pan. You can hear it sizzling to create our lovely next level marinade. So I'm gonna turn this on. As you can see, this has literally took seconds. I'm gonna add a little bit of liquid in because I don't want this to be just jelly, and that's why I made a little bit more stock because I thought with the tapioca this might happen. But yeah, look at that lovely general sauce, and there we go. Put our tempeh back in. Okay, so our general tempeh is ready. So I'm just gonna put this aside here into a bowl. Lovely sticky Asian sauce here. Oh, tastes nice as well. Very, very good. So first thing I want to do is I want to add some more. So I put the heat back on here on the pan, and I'm going to add some more oil, and then I'm going to add my chopped shallot and ginger in here. So, and while this is heating back up, where's my okay? So, and while this is heating back up, I'm going to chop a little bit of broccoli, probably like half a head or so. Doesn't need to be much. So I just added, my broccoli that I've chopped in here in my pan as well. And then I'm gonna start adding some of my rice. I made a little bit too much rice, I just realized. But that's okay because we can eat that on. Okay, that should be fine. So I just add like some pieces of rice, and at the same time I'm gonna add some of my tofu as well. Probably half of it, because why not? And then we're just gonna fry. Just gonna fry. I want a little bit more green in here, so I'm gonna add a little bit more spinach. So I'm just gonna, oh, I just lost the spinach leaf. So I'm just gonna take a couple of hands of spinach, which I'm gonna roughly chop and then also pop into my rice. Oh, just to recap, this is the tofu, the general tofu. I'm gonna turn this a little bit down so you can hopefully see this in a nice way. It's nice and lovely and sticky and has a lovely glaze, as you can see. So this is our general tempeh, not tofu, tempeh. But we have tofu as well, which is here. So this is egg fried, no egg, because it's tofu, no egg fried rice. So maybe you can, I hope you can see this. I have to kind of like operate this on a weird scale. But yeah, so this is our lovely no egg fried rice. Yeah, this is gonna be so absolutely rocking. So don't worry about getting a takeaway. It's really easy to make any kind of takeaway yourself. It's very easy to make it vegan, which is completely plant-based, which means it's plant, it's healthy, it's pretty much salad. You can eat as much as you like. No, you can't, but you know, it is definitely a little bit healthier. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.